All right, let's dive right into Clause 10. Now I get it, when you hear Clause 10, you might just think, oh great, more rules. But I want you to completely reframe that. Don't think of it as just another requirement. Think of it as the improvement engine of your entire system. It's the powerful mechanism that takes a system from just being compliant to being truly resilient and adaptive. Let's pop the hood and see how this thing really works.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big idea, the core philosophy behind improvement. Then we'll look at how the standard actually mandates it. After that, we get tactical. We'll break down exactly what to do when something goes wrong. That's the nonconformity protocol and the corrective action lifecycle. And finally, we'll wrap up with the absolutely crucial step of documenting everything. First things first, let's talk about the foundational principle here. The whole point of Clause 10 is to build a culture that goes way beyond just fixing problems as they pop up. See, real improvement isn't about running around firefighting all day. It's about proactively making your system stronger, smarter, and more effective over the long haul. And for those of you running mature advanced systems, this is the absolute key. Improvement can't be some special project you do once a quarter. No way. It has to be woven into the very fabric of how you operate every single day. You've got to think of it as a permanent strategic goal that shapes every decision you make.
Okay, so we've got this big picture philosophy, but how does it become an actual rule? Well, that's where Clause 10.1 comes in. It takes that idea of a permanent objective and turns it into a direct, non-negotiable command. This isn't a friendly suggestion from the standard, it's a hard requirement.
Now hold on, don't just skim past this text. The language here is incredibly precise, and it's chosen for a reason. The standard doesn't just say, hey, make things better. It specifically tells you to improve your information security management system, your ISMS, across 3 very specific dimensions: suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness. And trust me, those are not just fancy synonyms.
So let's really break down these 3 pillars. First, suitability. Is your system actually right for your unique business, your industry, your risk appetite? A huge mistake is trying to copy-paste a system that doesn't fit your reality. Second, adequacy. Does it check all the boxes? Does it meet every single requirement from the standard, from regulators, from your clients? And finally, and this is the big one, effectiveness. Is it actually working? Is it reducing risk? Or is it just a bunch of paperwork? Your improvement efforts have to hit all 3 of these targets.
So, we've got the high-level mandate down. But let's be honest, things are going to go wrong. It's inevitable. So what happens then? This is where we shift gears from philosophy to a hands-on protocol. Clause 10.2 is your step-by-step playbook for when a deviation happens.
And before we go any further, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is a nonconformity? The definition is simple. It's a non-fulfillment of a requirement. It's any gap between what should be happening and what is actually happening. It could be something huge or something tiny, but either way, you've got to deal with it.
So, a nonconformity hits. What's your immediate first responder duty? The standard says it's a 2-part reaction. Think of it like a medic arriving on the scene. Step 1, control the situation. Stop the bleeding, contain the problem, and put in a quick fix. Step 2, manage the fallout. Deal with any of the immediate consequences. This is all about triage right here, right now.
But here's the thing. Stopping the bleeding is not enough. That's just damage control. The real work, the stuff that actually drives improvement, that begins now. We have to pivot from that immediate panicked reaction to the strategic, thoughtful process of making sure this exact problem never, ever happens again.
And this slide lays out the entire life cycle. We've already covered step 1, that initial reaction, but now we get to the most important part, step 2, evaluating the need for action to get rid of the cause, not just the symptom. You know, this is the moment where we switch from just fixing something to actually improving the system. Now, this evaluation phase is mandatory, and it means you have to play detective. You've got to ask 3 critical questions. First, what exactly happened? You review the nonconformity itself. Second, and this is everything, you dig and you dig until you find the root cause. And third, you have to zoom out. Could this same mistake be happening somewhere else? Could it pop up again in the future? This is how you stop one problem from turning into 10. This right here, this is probably the most important distinction in this entire clause. A correction is the immediate fix. It's firefighting. The server crashed, so you restore it from backup. Problem solved, for now. A corrective action is fire prevention. You figure out why the server crashed, a broken patch management process, and you fix that process.
See the difference? One stops the bleeding, the other cures the disease.
Okay, so you've implemented your brilliant corrective action. You're done, right? Nope, not yet. The standard is explicit. You must review its effectiveness. This is not a fire and forget mission. You have to circle back, gather some proof, and verify that your solution actually fixed the root cause for good.
Which brings us to our final section. How do we prove we did all this amazing work? Well, in the world of audits and management systems, we live by a golden rule, right? If it's not documented, it didn't happen. Documentation is how you close the loop and create the evidence.
And the standard is very clear about what you need to write down. You need to have documented evidence of three things: what the original problem was, a clear record of all the actions you took, and, this is the big one, the results of your corrective action. This isn't just busy work, it's the official story of your improvement, ready for any auditor or management review.
And one last really crucial point from the standard. It says your response must be appropriate to the problem. What does that mean? It means use some common sense. You don't need a 10-person task force to investigate a typo in a procedure. This little clause gives you the flexibility to make sure your effort always matches the scale of the risk. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to take back to your team. Is your Clause 10 process just a formality? A box-ticking exercise to keep the auditors happy? Or are you truly using it as an engine to build resilience, learning from every little stumble to build a stronger, smarter system? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about how mature your system really is. And that's the real power of Clause 10.